Hey, what's happening guys, Jock here, and well, it's been a while, but welcome back to APA Wi-Fi Season 2. We are finally here with Week 2. Just don't tell people it's 6 weeks late or whatever. Don't want to get myself into trouble. I don't think they've noticed that I've not uploaded yet, but we are here with our Week 2 battle against Panther. This battle did take place about 3 millennia ago, so I don't even know what happened. We're just going to watch it for banter, but if you look at the teams he brought, Panther has arguably the best team in the league. You can see that he has some ridiculous mons, but it's more so the mons that he didn't bring that scared me the most, like Mega Guard and Volcarona. So I just remember the fact that he never brought them was incredibly pleasing for me. But the team we have brought is our new boy, our new pal, Stunfisk the God, because, well, I had a bit of a fallout with Gastrodon, to be honest. I had it in a couple of leagues at the time and I just realised it was pretty bollocks. So, picked up Stunfisk for Kabutops, and Gastrodon's still sitting there on the bench. But it's just a Spadef Stunfisk to take on, like, Magnezone. But obviously, well, I needed a bit of physical defence to take on the Crobat, because I didn't want Skarm to take on Crobat, because, well, it doesn't look it because of what he's brought. But Skarm was quite important for like Krookodile and Hitmonchan and whatnot. So next up we have our Glade, which I can't even remember what. I was just like a 4-attack breaker Glade set, which is funny because of my thingy. What's it called? My draft analysis took me a while to get there. In my draft analysis, I said that this was a shit set, and it is a shit set, but Suicune's a bitch and I just needed to hurt it, so that was the plan. Didn't expect Kofag to come. Don't know why I didn't expect Kofag to come, because I'm a Mongo. Kofag was obviously coming. And next up we have DD Haxorus, because Panther's answer to DD Haxorus is X. Like, that's it, you know. DD Haxorus absolutely 6-0s them, so I think it's like Earthquake, Poison Jab, Dragon Claw with the Dragonium Z, which spoilers, I forgot to bring. We'll see if that bites me, because I'm an idiot, and it's like the 5th time. I think the season's been going about 8 weeks, and I've done it about 5 times, because I'm proper retard. Then we just have like a Fizdef Skarm, with enough Spadef to pseudo take on Mega Guard, but like, one T-Bow prediction, and Skarm just goes down. And then, last up, we'll go to Weavile last, but on the end there, we have Silvally Steel, which is just, again, Mega Guard, Kyurem, Crobat, and kind of soft pivots into a, say if I expect a Flash Cannon or a HP Ice from Magnezone, then I can Part and Shut out just to weaken it, so it felt like a decent set to bring. And then I realised I was really weak to Volcarona, I was weak to Scarf Kyurem, I was weak to Shell Smash Omastar, I was kind of just weak to everything and I built poorly, so I just fired a Scarf Weavile and on the end and thought, you know what, fuck it. So, coming into this battle, I was shitting my pants. Ooh, you're getting some music. No, you're not. I'm going to mute that. Coming into this battle, I was shitting my pants because I know that Panther is, like, the best battler in the league. Well, maybe. You could argue Hugo, but Panther just wins. He just doesn't lose. So I was really set up and to get beat, and we lead Stunfisk because the first thing I noticed from his team was this is Vinkun. The only reason he really brought Kofag was to get Toxic Spikes up, and I had brought no way to stop Toxic Spikes. I didn't have Hazard Removal, and I didn't have Taunt or anything like that, so my best play was to try and get him to remove the hazards himself, so I wanted to get my Stealth Rocks up as early as possible. I knew that I'd be able to get Spikes up with Skarm, and hopefully his Crobat would have Defog and he would defog away these Toxic Spikes. But so he gets the second layer up as I have my Stealth Rock, and I just fire off a Discharge to try to fish for a Para, you know, because Stunfisk's not exactly a wall breaker, it's not doing much damage. But this, I can't remember what type of set this was, honestly, this was so long ago. But Stunfisk is eating up those hexes as we discharge again, and this is getting to the sort of, it looks like it's probably like a 5-hit KO, which isn't amazing, but we will take it down slowly. And at this point I was expecting either Magnezone or Kyurem to come in, so I just wanted to do as much damage as possible. So I switch up to Earth Power, because, well, as I said, I predicted him to switch. And he brings in the Kyurem, thankfully. I was hoping Magnezone to, like, you know, but it would have been a bad play to go Magnezone. And as you see that completely limits Kyurem's switch-ins. Kyurem now has 2 more switch-ins, to where if we had discharged, it could have maybe roosted or whatever. And it just does, I felt like that play really neutered Kyurem a lot. But here we go into our Silvally Steel, and this is just, you know, this is where it goes rough. And there goes off the Z move, and this is Panther showing us that he's come to play, he's come to, you know, get redemption, because every time me and Panther play it's just an absolute grudge match, because usually it's a playoff battle, or it just has a big meaning, whereas this one didn't have as much big meaning, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to beat me, because, you know, knocking him out of playoffs last season when I think he thought he was going to win the championship pretty easily. And we see that this Z Focus Blast absolutely destroys So Valley, so there's no point in me switching out here. I have to just hope he misses the next Focus Blast and I can kill Kieran, but you know, Panther's lucky and bad, so of course he hits Focus Blast. I've never seen this man miss a move in my life. And So Valley still put down, and this is a rough start. Like, we have 2 layers of Toxic Spikes up and potential of Vincoon. Already So Valley steals down, so Kieran gets a kill whenever it comes in, so it's not looking good. So here we go into Kofag, and I click Close Combat just because I was worried. That's really the only answer. And I don't know, I probably could have possibly tried to click Zen Headbutt twice in order to try and kill off Kofag, but it didn't seem worth it in my opinion. And we Close Combat and we take some toxic damage, which isn't good, but at this point I'm playing on a bit of tilt, and I don't know why I was playing on tilt. I think it was just that Focus Blast play got me a bit worried. So I go into Skarm because, like, with the Toxic Spikes up and knowing that he's got Hex, it's really the only thing that can do much to Kofag, but he Pain Splits, which is a good play, and that gets his Kofag up back to really good health where it can take on my Blade. So I just start firing up my spikes. He goes Magnezone, and we get Spike up, and I'm Shed Shell Skarm. Obviously I'm Shed Shell Skarm when I'm Magnezones here. Panther said in the draft analysis, whenever he faces like mons like Skarmory, he's probably going to use Analytic, and I stay in here. I just knew he would hit Power Grass. There was no way he wouldn't, and just whirlwind him out. And that kind of shows, like, I wasn't messing about at this point. I really wanted Panther to sort of double guess himself. I didn't want him to play his own game, and here we bring in Suicune, and this is almost like the start of the end, because Suicune, I'm going to speed this up. This is a bit slow for my liking. I'll go 1.25, why not? But yeah, this was like the beginning of the end, because I let my Skarmory take a Scald just to get up an extra layer of spikes, which was just because Crook wasn't here. Like, literally Skarmory was only here for Crook, because the team I originally had got 6-0 by Crook. Like, you could have just led off and Burst Earthquake 6 times and probably won. So I didn't need Skarmory, and I go hard Glade here, because I just know he's going to Scald, and I can't get burnt, and I want to limit this thing's like leftover recovery as much as possible, because Suicune is the only thing stopping Haxorus absolutely destroying his team right now, and I just need to get it in range of a +1 Dragon Claw. So my play here was Close Combat in the hope that he choked and didn't go Kofagragus, and luckily enough he didn't, and he actually subs, which is fantastic for me. So he takes like an extra, he takes like a 65%, maybe 50, somewhere between 55 and 60% that he didn't need to take after the leftovers and whatnot, just because he didn't think I was going to Close Combat, which I guess that was arguably a good play, but knowing that Suicune was this massive threat to me, I was not going to play it. I was going to Close Combat every time against Suicune, because one Close Combat, I think it would have put it in range in a +1 Dragon Claw, but he Scalds off and kills our Glade, and although this looks like, oh, I've attacked my Glade done its job. It came to dent Suicune, and dent Suicune it did. So I go into my Haxorus now. I know he's just going to sub up on my Dragon Dance, but DD, like, because I was just going to get revenge killed by Crobat if I didn't DD, if I just killed this thing off. So we DD up as he subbed, and one thing I would say is I'm very lucky that he didn't rely on Toxic Spikes. He was worried that I could have just taunted, and every time Kofag came in, like, I could have brought Skarm, taunt, and whatnot, and he wouldn't have got Toxic Spikes up, and if he Protect over Toxic, he would have just got walled by Gastrodon completely. So he didn't bring Protect, and in fact brought Toxic, which means at this point Haxorus is easily able to pick off Suicune so much earlier than he originally would have. It would have had to take about 3 or 4 more turns of Toxic, and probably would have only got the Suicune kill, maybe 1 more kill after, but after taking out this, we're down to half health, and we're just about to kill the Suicune, and I knew sadly Haxorus wasn't going to win the game, but I feel like if Suicune had Protect, I might genuinely have got 6-0'd. Which was incredibly scary. Like, Suicune was a fantastic bring against me, honestly. The prep was so good, and he goes into the Crobat, and this is where I realised I don't have my Dragonium Z, because physically defensive Crobat would have lived, and I was going to just Dragonium Z just to make sure I got another kill. But luckily enough, he wasn't like a physically defensive Crobat to pivot Glade. He was just thingy, and here, if I had my Dragonium Z, this Cofagrigus would have died, but I probably would have used it on the last turn, so it's not a big deal anyway. And sadly we just missed out on the KO by the tiniest amount, but Hax just swung this battle. Well, maybe not swung it in our favour, but it was back into the battle, because if we hadn't just punched these massive holes with Haxorus, I feel like I was getting 6-0'd. The battle was in that much of a horrible situation, so I go Scarm because I'm faster than this and I can just pick it off with an Iron Head. And I didn't particularly want to bring in any of my other Pokemon. I knew Weavile, I didn't want it to get poisoned and take poison damage yet, because I knew Weavile was still, even though it was Scarf, it was the win con. So he brings Kyurem in, and as I said, when Snow Valley Steel went down, I just knew that Kyurem would get killed whenever it came in. So we're just going to sack off our Skarmory. Skarmory for Ramon that was here for no reason to pick up a kill. It done its job. It just was here to check Crook and get up spikes, and when Crook didn't come, it wasn't needed. So he picks us off with a Fusion Ball, and I go Weavile knowing that there's no way Kyurem can outspeed us, obviously because we're Scarf, but he showed his Z move anyway, and we just click low kick to pick it off. And we get the poison damage, but this is the point where Weavile has now picked up like his 6th kill of the season. It's not died yet, and he goes into Omastar, and I knew that I had to attack this, like because Surf didn't kill at -1, so I was playing for maybe like a crit, but that done absolutely nothing, and not -1 at neutral, and I had to hope that he didn't Shell Smash, because if he Shell Smashed, I think I would have just lost because I didn't have Ice Shard, but it depends on his speed, and I can't remember if he outsped. So he actually switches, knowing that he has to. Like, that's his only way of winning, is hoping that I choke, but I continue to low kick. And again, look at that, lives on 1. These rolls in this game. It would have been so much more comfortable if I didn't leave 2 Pokemon living on 1, but I switch my Weavile out here knowing that it's still got an attack in it, and we go Stunfisk, and have to just hope that there's no funny business with this Magnezone. And he hidden Power Grasses, and my bumhole rips when I see that damage. I'm like, oh my god, why is it doing so much? But that was an analytic, I think Choice Specs crit maybe. So looking at that, I'm like, right, he has to crit me again to kill Stunfisk, and if he crits me again, well, that's just not my fault in losing. So he tries to go for the crit again. Stunfisk, the god, lives on 1, and we pick him off with the Earth Power. So Stunfisk came in this week, done its job, and he brings out Omastar, and luckily enough, he was a Shell Smash Omastar, but he can't set up on Stunfisk because, well, Stunfisk would kill with a discharge. So he goes into his Omastar. He has to just take this down to a 1-0, but we... Look at that again, another Mach 11 on 1. But we take our 2nd victory of the season, 6 weeks later than the last one, and I'm going to try and keep 2 or 3 videos a week until we are caught up. This one was very rushed, but hopefully the next few won't be as rushed, won't be as poor, and then we'll catch up hopefully hopefully a couple of weeks before playoffs, but we will definitely be caught up before playoffs. But thank you, that is us now 2-0 plus 6, with Weavile picking up, I think, 8 kills maybe, or 7 kills. So thanks for watching, I'll catch you guys in a few days for another one.